talking about Donald Trump and Steve Bannon's desire to have Donald Trump run for a third term in 2028. If you, I made that video earlier today. You can watch that on all my social media platforms about Steve Bannon saying that they're trying several options out to try and get Donald Trump to be able to run for a third term. Anyway, this person says he'll be muerta by then. Age will take its course, and it's important for people to remember. First and foremost, how much they bitched about Joe Biden's age. But more importantly, it is important to remember that as of today, as of right now, Donald Trump is the oldest president we have ever had. And I know people, when they think about old presidents, at least people of my generation or people who are historians to any shape, to any degree, they think of Ronald Reagan as being the oldest president, right? Well, he was really old. His fucking brain was going. He was... everybody was kind of nervous about who had their finger on the button, right? Yeah. Donald Trump is older right now than Reagan was at the end of his term. And Trump is just beginning another 4-year term. At the end of his term, Reagan was 77. Almost 78. Almost. Round it up to 78 if you want to. At the end of his term, when people thought he was over the hill, his mind was gone, holy shit, how could we possibly have a president this old? He was 78 years old. Donald Trump is that old right now, and he's starting a 4-year term. He's that old right now. He's going to be 82 years old at the end of his term. 82. Think about that for a minute. He's going to be 82. If he lives throughout this term, he's going to be 82 at the end of his term, and Steve Bannon and the MAGA cultists want him to run for another term. They want him to be president up until damn near 90. The same people that railed away against Joe Biden's age. The same people that scream, term limits. They want a man who, if he survives his term, is going to be running for another term at the age of 82, which is never going to happen. The Constitution is never going to change. Just think about the idiocy of it. How many people you know in your life that are 82 years old? How many of them would you trust with the fucking car keys, let alone the nation? Are there 82-year-olds that are sharpened with it? Of course there are. And there are 35-year-olds that shouldn't be allowed to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for themselves and everything in between. How many 82-year-olds do you know in your life? How many of them would you trust with anything important, let alone the entirety of the nation? Yeah, he will be lucky if he's alive by the end of his term. He will. Joe Biden would have been lucky if he was going to be alive at the end of his term. The world and the country is going to be better off when everybody from Gen X up stops fucking around and stops running for public office, stops being elected to public office. This world and this nation now belong to the millennials, the Gen Zs, and the Gen Alphas. The baby boomers and the silent generation need to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. The Gen Xers need to have a limited role in the government at best and need to understand that even though our seat at the table was squozen out, if you will, by the fact that the boomers kept on holding on to power, tough shit. This world needs to be run by the millennials and the Gen Zers now. That's whose world this is. And my generation should probably think about getting the fuck out of politics. His generation should definitely think about getting the fuck out of politics. And before the fucking jamokes come into the comment section, yes, that means all of them across the board. That means Nancy Pelosi, the Dianne Feinsteins. I know that's not an issue anymore. The Maxine Waters, the Bernie Sanders, the Murkowskis, and the fucking Ernsts, all of them. All of them. I don't give a fuck if there's an R next to their name, a D next to their name, or an I next to their name. Angus King. All of them need to go. It is not our turn anymore. It is not our world. We aren't going to live long enough to be affected by the policies that we would put in place. They are. It's their world.